Welcome back to the Palate video blog. My name is Stuart Langer. I'm your host. This is a little more educational on this one than it is about the actual tasting. We're going to talk about something that you may have heard of called a corked wine. When it's referring to corked, it's referring to TCA. It's a bacteria that gets in the cork. It's not necessarily going to hurt you, but it is going to give it a really off smell. It can affect the palate. It doesn't seem to affect the palate quite as much. But when you get a TCA wine and it's really corked, you'll really recognize that there's a big issue with the wine. This one is from Argentina. It really has nothing to do with the wine producer. There's just a certain percentage of every wine that has a real cork in it that's going to get corked. It's a fault in the cork. I thought I'd do a live one on it because so you can kind of see my reaction to it. I actually opened this wine yesterday. As soon as I poured it, I smelled it and I'm like, oh, this wine's corked, and the person that was with me didn't really notice it, but I definitely got it right off the bat. So we went through the tasting, I opened up another bottle, and then I went back and I poured it, and he's like, oh my god, I can smell it now. And that's really what happens. After a few minutes, that TCA reaction to the oxygen gets really bold in the smell, and it is very strong. I mean, I can smell it from here. Oh gosh, if you stick your nose in it, it's just horrible. It smells like wet cardboard, wet newspaper. I've had wines before that were slightly corked and people are like, oh, this nose is so interesting. Well, it's not really interesting. It's actually a fault in the wine. Interesting is a damp earth smell. That's okay. This is wet cardboard, dank, just nasty smell. And at the end of the day, guys, life's too short to drink bad wine. If you get a wine like this from me where the wine is corked and it's no fault of us, it's no fault of the producer, it just happens, bring it back. I'll trade you out. If you bring me back an empty bottle, we'll have to talk, but you know, if the wine's in there and it's corked, I will trade it out, and I'll be going to my distributor telling them, hey, this wine was bad. And you should do the same thing no matter where you go. If you're in a restaurant and you get this, send it back. If you're going to another retailer, they should take that wine back. The wine is bad. I mean, it's just a horrible smell. We're talking wet cardboard, wet newspaper. It's just about as ugly as it gets, and this one is severely corked. That's why I don't even have to get close to it. So I'm using it for educational purposes here at the store to show people, hey, this is a bad wine. And so just keep that in mind. Don't drink bad wine. Why waste your time? I mean, we only going to drink so many wines in our lifetime. Might as well be a good example when I drink it.